Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to statute, I present the annual reports of the Civil Aviation Safety Authority for the year 2020 and 2021. Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of the Parliament to make a statement in connection with the report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to present the ministerial statement on behalf of my ministry as mandated under law to be presented on the floor of Parliament. This particular statement is in relation to the 2020 and 2021 Civil Aviation Safety Authority annual reports. Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to present in this Honourable House my statement on the performance of the Civil Aviation Safety Authority of Papua New Guinea in 2021 and 2020. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to present to Parliament the 2021 CASA annual report, which is the 12th annual report of the authority since its establishment in 2010, and the report includes a statement of the activities of the authority during the year and the annual financial statements of the authority prepared under the Civil Aviation Act 2000 as amended. Mr. Speaker, CASA PNG was unable to present its 2020 annual report to Parliament in 2021. Therefore, I am presenting it to Parliament along with the 2021 CASA annual report. The 2020 annual report is the 11th report of CASA since its establishment. Mr. Speaker, the operation of the Civil Aviation Safety Authority of Papua New Guinea has again met the expectation of the government, the aviation industry, and the public in ensuring that safety and security is maintained and enhanced within an increasingly complex and challenging environment. Mr. Speaker, CASA PNG did not have a board in 2021 due to circumstances beyond the control of its management. The appointment and swearing in of the new board of directors were recently completed. In 2020, a 6-member board provided governance oversight over CASA PNG. The then board of directors' involvement in CASA PNG in 2020 shaped and influenced the strategic direction for CASA PNG as set out in the corporate plan 2020 to 2022. Mr. Speaker, it is important that we have an effective and efficient aviation safety and security regulator, because a safe aviation environment contributes towards social and economic development of Papua New Guinea and raises PNG's profile at the international level. Mr. Speaker, building organization capability to meet the expectation of the aviation industry and the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, continue to be CASA PNG's challenge, and I commend the CASA staff for continue to perform exceptionally well. The various programs, objectives, and targets being pursued under the ICAO No Country Left Behind initiative to assist states in capacity building also assisted CASA PNG in 2021 and 2020. Mr. Speaker, ICAO Global Aviation Safety Plan and the Global Air Navigation Plan set out regional expectations, priorities, and targets for states to meet the Universal Safety Oversight Audit Program, effective implementation, range of scores, in which the smaller island states of the Pacific saw a compelling need for improvement, and CASA PNG actively engaged in forging stronger regional cooperation, partnerships, and engagement in this area. Mr. Speaker, the direction and objective for aviation safety and security in PNG follows the regional expectation and supports CASA's vision to be respected as an industry regulator and as a partner in regional and international civil aviation, and its mission to promote compliance and effective safety and security outcomes in PNG through positive and productive engagement with its stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, CASA is a growing organization facing a number of challenges in the aviation environment, which is evolutionary. Its strategic direction sets a clear pathway in addressing the challenges and to facilitate change in a gradual, stage approach, allowing CASA to absorb and benefit from these changes, assessing the risks before making the decision to proceed with others. Mr. Speaker, aviation safety regulation is a global operation across borders, not isolated to one country. The aviation challenges faced by PNG differ to those in other countries, and it is particularly beneficial for PNG to maintain its presence at the ICAO forums to collaborate with other states on common aviation-related issues. Mr. Speaker, recent estimates suggest that demand for air transport will increase by an average of 4.3% per annum over the next 20 years. This growth is likely to pose many challenges for PNG. Mr. Speaker, the rapid growth of the remotely piloted aircraft system and drones industry has resulted in significant and multiplied challenges for PNG to deliver our mandate and meet the needs and expectation of the industry. CASA has identified key areas of concern and has reviewed and developed its operating rules that are being implemented. CASA is continuing with its efforts to address the remotely piloted aircraft system, oversight and surveillance, including capacity building of its inspectors, and is improving PNG's RPS regulations to ensure alignment with ICAO standards and recommendations I adhere to. Mr. Speaker, today, cyber threats are of growing concern to civil aviation, and CASA PNG is required to focus its effort for a proactive and aligned collective response. Mr. Speaker, from CASA perspective, new technologies and changes in the aviation environment have a significant impact on resources required to support technical training for inspectors, development of new CASA policies and procedures, stakeholders consultation and communications, and legislation development and implementation. Mr. Speaker, when safety and security incidents and serious incidents are reported, the most serious incidents and aircraft accidents are investigated by the PNG Accident Investigation Commission to determine the root cause factor that have contributed to the incident, with the aim of preventing future occurrence. Mr. Speaker, CASA PNG also uses these reports to conduct trend analysis to build a picture of how prevalent certain types of incidents are in different types of aviation operations. This helps CASA to design policies, propose new safety standards, and oversight strategies to improve aviation safety and security. Mr. Speaker, from a safety perspective, significant changes increase the risk, and CASA was able to mitigate this risk through regulatory interventions. Increased surveillance and imposition of conditions and implementation of a risk-based approach in auditing. Mr. Speaker, CASA's corporate plan key objectives sets the strategic direction and either relies on or would benefit from regional and international engagement with neighboring aviation regulators to collaborate and adopt best practice that would assist PNG in addressing the challenges and risks. Mr. Speaker, CASA PNG long-term objective is the implementation of a robust civil aviation safety and security system that will become integral to the civil aviation system of the future. CASA continues to assess the growth in the civil aviation sector domestically and globally to identify emerging challenges and risks. The strategies on addressing the challenges and mitigating the emerging risks are set in this corporate plan to ensure that it achieves its long-term objective. Mr. Speaker, for benchmarking purposes and as an ongoing performance indicator for investment, in 2021, PNG had an ICAO effective implementation score of 60.73% for safety oversight, against a global average of 67.5%. The scores are based on an assessment of our responses to the 8 critical elements of aviation safety that addresses the standards that set out in the annexes to the Chicago Convention on International Civil Aviation. Mr. Speaker, Papua New Guinea maintained its Aviation Safety International Civil Aviation Organization effective implementation target, above the Global Aviation Safety Plan and the Asia Pacific regional target of 60.1%, and work is continuing on the deficient areas to improve further as PNG focus on the Beijing Declaration, a commitment made by the Asia-Pacific Civil Aviation Ministers in Beijing to progressively enhance safety oversight capabilities to achieve a universal safety oversight audit program, EI score, higher or equal to the global average by 2022. Mr. Speaker, CASA PNG continues to focus efforts towards improving the ICAO EI scores for both aviation safety and security. This includes achievements of full implementation of the State Safety Program and Safety Management System to facilitate the proactive management of safety risks. Mr. Speaker, significant safety concerns indicates that a state is not providing sufficient safety oversight to ensure the effective implementation of applicable ICAO standards. SSEC may be issued in the area of all operations, air navigation safety, aerodromes, airworthiness, or licensing. I am pleased to report that PNG has no significant safety concern. Mr. Speaker, in the area of certification of international aerodromes, ICAO has considered that PNG has satisfactorily promulgated regulations detailing the requirements for the certification of aerodromes, including establishing a process for the certification of aerodromes. Mr. Speaker, PNG has been assessed by the Federal Aviation Administration through the International Aviation Safety Audit Program. This is a long-term strategy that CASA will now be embarking on with the airlines. Mr. Speaker, PNG has no operational restrictions with regard to European air safety, and PNG has only one airline in New Guinea certified through the International Air Transport Association Operational Safety Audit Program. Mr. Speaker, in the areas of the state safety implementation, PNG is at level 3 at 95.2%, above the target and moving towards level 4. Our overall SSP foundation is currently at 91.19%. The full implementation of SSP is now part of CASA's strategy, following the attainment of over 60% effective implementation score. Mr. Speaker, the implementation of the performance-based navigation is presently the global aviation community's highest air navigation priority. The PBN concept offers significant benefits, including improved safety through more straight-in instrument approaches with vertical guidance, increased airspace capacity, increased airport accessibility, more efficient operations, reduce infrastructure costs, and reduce environmental impact. PNG's international airports have 2 instrument runways which have 2 PBN approaches that result in our PBN implementation ICAO rating at 100%. Mr. Speaker, CASA continued in 2021 with its data-driven, risk-based approach to proactively monitor emerging safety trends within each certified organization in PNG. The monitoring of trends enable CASA to allocate its limited human resources to focus on high-risk areas and measure the effectiveness of its safety certification, audit, and surveillance program. Mr. Speaker, the result of CASA's trend analysis of aviation safety and security data enables CASA to engage with the industry by communicating issues of concern directly to each air operator and/or take the appropriate enforcement actions to prevent incidents or accidents from happening. Mr. Speaker, through trend analysis and risk-based approach auditing, CASA was able to monitor any buildup of latent unsafe conditions within each organization in a timely manner. Mr. Speaker, statistics for the last 7 years indicated a slight fluctuation in the number of serious incidents and bird strikes. However, the trend analysis shows a steady trend during that period. Mr. Speaker, the number of serious incidents reported to CASA by the industry decreased from 108 in 2020 to 98 in 2021. Mr. Speaker, significant achievements have also been achieved by the authority, demonstrated by the completion of the audit of the financial statements of CASA for year ended 31st December 2021 and the year ended 31st December 2020. And the results of the audits from the Auditor General forwarded to my office, advising me of the results of his inspection. Mr. Speaker, CASA regulates aviation participants within PNG with a very modern set of legislative framework that meets international best practice in aviation safety. The International Civil Aviation Organization has rated Papua New Guinea as having one of the best piece of primary aviation safety legislation, the Act. The Act that's in place currently. Mr. Speaker, reviews of subordinate aviation safety rules set that are linked to support the primary legislation were also conducted and completed in 2021 and 2020, respectively, following consultation with the aviation industry and stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, PNG is a strong advocate for the Pacific region on aviation safety and security matters. We continue to play a significant leading role among the smaller island Pacific states through the Regional Pacific Aviation Safety Office, PASO, a regional body established by the Pacific Islands Forum leaders to ensure aviation safety and security oversight is effective in order to meet the international obligations required of us under the ICAO Convention on International Civil Aviation. Mr. Speaker, PNG, as a member of PASO, it is particularly beneficial for PNG to maintain its presence at PASO's meeting, to collaborate with other smaller island states of the Pacific on common aviation-related issues and challenges. Mr. Speaker, PNG's leadership supports our platform to be a partner in regional and international civil aviation and further demonstrates our credibility in this very highly technical and specialized field. Commiserate with the extensive aviation infrastructure we have in PNG. Mr. Speaker, CASA has safety-related functions amid at encouraging the aviation industry to maintain and enhance high standards of safety through compliance with the appropriate rules and the development and evaluation of a safety culture. CASA undertakes these functions through accurate and timely aviation safety advice, comprehensive safety education and training programs, and fostering awareness within industry and the community on fundamental importance of aviation safety. Mr. Speaker, as CASA stakeholders and clients are individuals or groups who are affected by CASA's activity, CASA has a large and diverse number of stakeholders, clients, and safety partners. Its approach to stakeholder engagement sits within a key objective of its corporate plan and is guided by the vision, mission, and values. Mr. Speaker, as part of the CASA's strategies to engage with stakeholders, it successfully hosted the 2021 annual high-level aviation safety and security conference virtually, with action items tracked. The theme of the conference, adapting and digital sustaining PNG aviation amidst the pandemic, enabled the participants to discuss fundamentals that were a pillar for adaptation and sustainability in the aviation sector during any given pandemic. It was important that the policymakers, regulators, and the aviation industry collaborate together to ensure appropriate policies and legislative framework is established for the industry in PNG. A total of 125 participants took part in the conference, with a good representation from international organizations, including PNG Department of PM and NEC, Department of Transport, Department of Defense, and Civil Aviation Minister's Office. Mr. Speaker, in the area of aviation security oversight, CASA has increased the allocation of resources to its aviation security branch to ensure efforts is put into addressing the protocol questions and the three significant security concerns it applies in the areas of airport operations, passengers, baggage, security, and cargo, which were identified by the Combined Assistance Technical Mission in 2019. Monthly progress reports are being sent to ICAO, providing updates on the implementation of PNG's corrective action plan. Mr. Speaker, the 2021 recurrent budget appropriation of 15.2 million was a decrease of 3.5% from 2020 appropriation of 15.8 million. CASA PNG continued to face inconsistencies of the grant disbursement in 2021 and 2020. Mr. Speaker, CASA implemented measures to counteract this reduction, as well as the inconsistency of the grant disbursement, to ensure that funding did not erode further to a point where it would seriously impact aviation safety and security oversight responsibilities, and has vigorously pursued its outstanding debts. Mr. Speaker, in terms of staff liabilities, there were no outstanding staff liabilities, apart from the payments made to staff existing or exiting the organization through resignation, medical condition, or contract expiration in 2021 and 2020. Provisions are maintained for accurate gratuities, annual leave, and long service leave. Mr. Speaker, CASA PNG organization structure and approved positions remained at 104 positions. This has remained for the last 3 years, and while CASA is continually seeking from the government for more positions, it has been very difficult to obtain approval. Mr. Speaker, CASA PNG's management is committed to ensuring that the organization is appropriately staffed with qualified and experienced personnel, capable of successfully undertaking the wide variety of required regulatory tasks, but they are being hampered by the limited number of positions, which are not allowing the organization to grow together with the growth in the industry. Mr. Speaker, it is important that the functions of CASA are recognized and supported to ensure there is growth commensurated with industry growth, and that it can attract and retain qualified, experienced, and skilled staff to ensure that the organization is credible and respected when it interacts with the industry. Mr. Speaker, the increase in organization position to permit increase in staff numbers is therefore critical in light of a significant increase in the volume and scope of aviation activities, including the improvements in technology in PNG. Conclusion, Mr. Speaker, the functions of CASA PNG and its strategic direction are consistent with the government's development agenda and is aligned with the support and achievement of the government's goals for aviation safety and security. It includes consistency with PNG's vision of 2050 and the transport sector goal for a well-integrated, competitive, safe, affordable, financially and environmentally sustainable transport system that efficiently serves the economy and the society of Papua New Guinea. Mr. Speaker, finally, for this government, the safety and security of the travelling public is the most important priority. The public expects us, the government, to be responsible in ensuring that aeroplanes are safe to fly, the airports are safe to operate into, and the associated aeronautical infrastructures and modernization meets international standards. Mr. Speaker, I commend the 2021 and 2020 annual reports provided by the Civil Aviation Safety Authority of Papua New Guinea and ask the government to lend its support to this very important safety agency. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.